Alright, let's be real. When you think about war, funny probably isn't the first word that pops into your head. War is usually about strategy, bravery, and let's face it, a lot of chaos. But what if I told you that even in the middle of all that seriousness, history has served up some moments so ridiculous you can't help but laugh? Stick with me, because history is packed with some downright hilarious moments from the battlefield that you've probably never heard before. These aren't just footnotes, they're the kind of stories that make you wonder if the past was secretly a giant prank show. First up, let's talk about the Great Emu War. Yes, you heard that right. In 1932, Australia literally declared war on a bunch of giant birds. Not enemy soldiers, not rebels, emus. These flightless birds were causing chaos for farmers, and the government decided the only solution was to send in the army. They sent soldiers, actual soldiers, with machine guns to take on a horde of rampaging emus. Imagine the scene: trained men, armed to the teeth, trying to outsmart birds that just wanted to eat some crops. The result? The emus won. No joke. The army retreated, and the birds strutted off in victory. The soldiers couldn't keep up with the emus' speed and unpredictable moves. It was like a real-life cartoon chase, only with more feathers and embarrassment. Somewhere, there are probably emus still bragging about that one. If birds could write history books, you know this would be chapter 1. Now, on to World War II, where British soldiers had an unusual secret weapon: inflatable tanks. That's right, tanks made of rubber and air, not steel and firepower. Imagine being a spy sneaking up on the enemy, only to realize the terrifying line of tanks is just a bunch of giant balloons. The British called it the Ghost Army. And it was all about tricking the enemy into thinking they were outnumbered. That's not war, it's a parade gone wrong. Somewhere between a military operation and a kid's birthday party, these inflatable tanks actually fooled enemy scouts more than once. Here's a classic: the Battle of Caransebes in 1788. The Austrian army was camped out, got bored, and started passing around booze. What could possibly go wrong, right? Suddenly, a drunken brawl turned into chaos. Arguments broke out, shots were fired, and panic spread like wildfire. The soldiers thought they were under attack, by themselves. In the confusion, they started shooting at shadows in each other, convinced the enemy had snuck into camp. They ended up fighting themselves. It was a full-on battle, but the only enemy was their own confusion and a lot of bad decisions. Seriously, the only army in history to lose a battle without an enemy even showing up. The next morning, the real enemy arrived to find the Austrians already defeated, by their own hand. Alright, let's talk about musical warfare. In the 1800s, the British Army had a regiment called the 42nd Royal Highlanders, known for their bagpipes. These guys didn't just play music, they used it as a weapon of confusion. During battles, they'd just march in, blasting bagpipe music. The sound was so loud and unexpected it threw enemy troops off their game. The enemy was so confused: was this an attack or just really aggressive street performers? Either way, it worked. Sometimes, the weirdest tactics are the most effective. And get this, during the Cold War, the USA tried to spy on Russia using cats. That's right, they wired cats with listening devices in something called Project Acoustic Kitty. The plan? Send cats to eavesdrop on secret conversations. Safe to say the cats just wandered off. Turns out cats aren't exactly the most reliable secret agents. They had their own plans, mostly involving naps and ignoring orders. If you've ever tried to get a cat to do anything, you know exactly how that ended. The project was a total flop, but at least the cats had a good time. So next time you hear about epic battles and brave warriors, remember, sometimes history is just a comedy show with really weird props. Behind every serious moment, there's probably a story that'll make you laugh out loud. If you want more hilarious history, hit that like and subscribe, and I'll dig up even more wild stories. See you next time. You.